everyone, I'm Nicole Harris.
And I'm Callie Tessier.
And we're engineers at Horton. Welcome to our new podcast, Between Two Fans.
That was so good.
It was.
Okay, so Horton is the leading supplier in thermal management for power systems. What that means is basically we put fans and clutches to cool mainly diesel engines.
Yep, and we wanted to make this podcast just to kind of educate our customers and clients on what we actually do, because literally before I came to Horton, I did not know what, I knew what a fan was. I didn't even know like that it went on a clutch or that it's needed in a lot of like off-road and on-road vehicles. So it's just nice to educate our audience on what we need, what they need that they don't even know that they need yet.
Yeah, I think also part of it was like personal development for you and me to like kind of, I mean, we're only a year out of college. We're like coming up on a year as application engineers for Horton. So I think this is kind of also a way for us to kind of like broaden our knowledge of all of our products so that way we can be more informative to our customers.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So Horton, basically, we provide fans and clutches to our customers, mostly diesel engines, right?
Yeah, our fans and clutches go on a lot of like big hauling trucks, like semi trucks all over the world.
Mm-hmm. If you see a semi truck going down the road, it's probably ours.
Yes, it's probably got our equipment under the hood.
Yep.
We're on a lot of construction equipment, mining equipment, agriculture equipment, even things like buses and fire trucks we're on.
Yep, and we do a lot of like gen sets too. We do a lot of like just generators that are stationary and stuff like that.
And we do a little more than just like fans and clutches. I mean, we do mainly fans and clutches, but we're starting to get into FIAD components or front and accessory drive components, so things that spin on the front of an engine.
Yep.
And then also we're starting to get into electrification,
which is very new for all of us. So
for everyone.
Hopefully we'll have a guest on soon that knows a little bit more about electrification.
Then we can learn something too.
Then we can, yeah.
We're in this together.
Exactly. So Callie, how did you get started in school, and then how did you like come here?
So in high school, I kind of like got a little exposure to engineering, and I was like, oh, this actually might be like a better career option than some of the other careers I was thinking. And so I did some research into some schools, and I decided that the University of Wisconsin Stout would be the best fit for me, just because I'm a super hands-on learner, and Stout's a polytechnic school, so they provided us with laptops and like textbooks and a bunch of lab classes. Like rarely was I ever just sitting in a lecture class. I was working with like industry professionals on like projects. So that's where a lot of my experience came from. And I had a couple of different internships too. I had a design one and a manufacturing one. And I liked the idea of design. I just didn't like how it was the same thing every day. And manufacturing was different things all the time, like solving a bunch of little problems all the time and working with people. And I really liked that aspect. So the application engineering position at Horton was perfect because you get to work with customers from start to finish on individual projects for them or individual applications. And so I get to work with customers and manufacturing, and I get to like work with design on some like more customized applications. And I get to be testing in the lab and working with some of our test engineers, which is perfect.
Yeah. That's like your bread and butter.
Yeah. So what was your school experience like?
So I went to St. Thomas. I wasn't always like straight set on engineering. Actually, I really wasn't.
What were you going for originally?
I didn't think I was smart enough for it, but when I like first like just applied to colleges, I just put like general business and like finance. Mm-hmm. But then once I committed to St. Thomas, I did mechanical engineering just because I knew it would challenge me. And I wanted to try something that would challenge me. And I really liked math and science. So from talking to different people and like people in the industry, they thought it would be a good match. So I tried it. And then I was too deep in to back out. So I had to go through. But so that was like my college. But I went to, like, obviously we're a private university, so all of our class sizes were pretty small. So I got a lot of, like, hands-on experience with the professors. I made really good relationships with all my professors, and all of them, like, knew my name. There wasn't, like, at those big schools.
Yeah, that was the same at Stout, where
name.
It was a lot smaller, so everybody knew you.
Yeah, it's nice. And then you can develop relationships with people, and then some of those people, like, can end up helping you get a job, too. It's really nice.
That's how I got most of my internships, actually, was either, like, through a project with
It's
Stout
insane.
or, like, classmates like recommended me
Yeah. I had my capstone project, which was grain sanitizing equipment. And I feel like that was really, same with like my machine design class, I feel like that was really helpful just to go through the whole engineering cycle. And once you're in that full engineering cycle from literally design to finished product, I feel like you can really see where you like in the middle of there, whether it's right at the beginning, right at the end, or anywhere in between. And I felt like application engineering was like a really good in between, where you get a little bit of before, you get a little bit of after, and you do a lot of like the technical work in between. So I really liked that, and that's kind of why I chose it.
So let's talk about app engineering or application engineering.
Because a lot of people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it is before I came here.
I didn't either. Most companies don't have application engineers, but Horton does. So we have designers who do a lot of our like actual like designing of the products and like prints and drawings and all of that stuff and like all the little details that go into that. But then we also have like sales engineers who like sell our products, but we have application engineers where a customer will like come to us with an application, like they have this new truck or a new front end loader for construction or a new tractor. And they're like, hey, this is like the cooling specs we need, or this is the clutch we need, or and we have to like look through everything we have and create a cooling system for that engine or that application or like the environment or whatever. And I think that's kind of like a unique thing to Horton is most of the time, like the sales engineer does that.
I feel like not a lot of companies have it because maybe not a lot of companies need it.
Yeah, but Horton is like very customized to like your application.
So at like pretty much every application that comes through us, somebody, at least you're going to have one app engineer review it and make sure it's meeting all of your needs, because we want all of our customers to have 100% what they need. Because if you don't have cooling on a vehicle, whether it's on-road or off-road, you're going to have issues. And that's why we exist. Like that's why our components are so important, because if you're not having proper cooling, something can overheat. And then especially in like remote locations, like you're not gonna, like you don't have a power source. Like you need to have your machines working properly.
And if you're the people like operating those machines, a lot of time you can't have downtime.
And if the machines are down, like you're losing money. People are losing money if your machines are down. So that's why we exist, to make the machine's life a little bit more easier. And honestly, you'll get a longer life out of the machine too if you use our products, because it'll cool it and it'll just make it more of an ideal temperature inside of the actual package.
Well, and not even just temperature, but like sound. Like a lot of like if you're within a city, like there's sound limitations. It can fuel savings and all of the other stuff like emissions and all these like new tier 4 engines that have to fit a bunch of new regulations that I don't even 100% even know myself.
There's so many new ones. Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
But that's why Horton has like such a like wide profile of products is to be customizable for each individual application.
So when you interviewed, did you know that you were going to be like mostly in fans, or were you just kind of like thrown in?
I did not know what I was going to be in for, but I work with one of our sales engineers who sells a lot, and what I work with one of the other application engineers. They mainly focus on like the clutch and Fiat components or like pulleys and stuff, and then I focus a lot on fans because there are some applications that don't require a clutch; they'll just require a fan. So I'll work on that. But how do you feel that like application engineering differs from like just like a design engineer or manufacturing engineer? Because I feel like it's a little bit of a different environment.
I totally agree. I think app engineering, you kind of get a little bit of everything. Because you're in constant contact with the customer, because from day one, you're their like technical contact. If they have like sales questions, they're going to go to the sales engineer, or like the product, whatever. If they have technical questions, they'll come to us. And then if they need like a whole new design, like we're the one who designs it. And then we send it to like our designer so they can get like a CAD model. We can like verify everything, obviously. But I feel like we differ because we kind of hit every step in the process. Like if they need prototypes, like we order them. We have to make sure we have all the components for them. If we need to release anything new, we have to do that. And then we also have to like make sure it's manufacturable.
Yeah, I feel like our personalities, if you're an application engineer, is like more social, I guess, because you're working with customers all the time. You're working with the plant all the time. Like you're working with test engineers. Like we're working with so many people. I feel like I'm literally talking to somebody new all the time.
For sure. I think you have to have really good communication skills. And I think, honestly, communication skills are going to like jump with you from every job you go to. And it's honestly a really good life skill to have that big of communication skills, because if you don't, then things get lost in translation, stuff like that. And then more people are confused. So we kind of just have to like stay with it every step of the process to make sure it's going to be what we want it to be.
I think it's a lot of fun being an application engineer.
I think so too.
Like even just completely ignoring the application part of things.
Yeah.
Or the engineering part of things. I feel like working with sales and all of that is just really fun. Like you never know what's going to happen next. Like when you wore a birthday hat all day.
Yeah. We do fun stuff in the office. So that makes it a lot better. And I feel like Horton makes it a really fun like work environment. If I have literally any questions, like obviously I'll go to you first, but after that I'll go to like
because I was working a whole 2 weeks longer than you.
I'll go to like literally any of my coworkers, and they'll usually like drop what they're doing to answer my question, which I think is really nice because nobody tells, like we didn't know anything coming in. So
even if it's more than just answering a question, sometimes like projects come and go because you're waiting on customers and stuff.
Yep.
Or like I'd rather be waiting on a customer and not a customer waiting on me. So sometimes your project workload goes up and down. Mm-hmm. So being on like such a great team and being able to be like, hey, I'm traveling and I've got this project that needs to be done. Like, can you help with this? And knowing that somebody on the team will step up and help, I think is a super great thing about our team in general, but also like Horton.
I agree. It's not like, oh, that's not my job, like gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everybody really steps up and makes sure that everybody doesn't have like too much on their plate at once, because once you have that, it just kind of is not fun to come to work when you're like, I have to get 80 different things done today, and I know I can get 4 of them done.
Yeah. So if you think Nicole and I are pretty entertaining or fun to listen to, stay tuned for some of our future podcasts where you can learn along with both of us on what our products are, the fans, the clutches, the benefits of all of the stuff we make at Horton, and we'll even be interviewing some more knowledgeable and experienced coworkers.
Which are also very fun.
Wait, we should say thanks for listening to Between Two Fans.
Okay, ready?
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listening to Between Two Fans.
Redo. Ready?
Thanks for listening to Between Two Fans. That was good.